Well, I think I'm going to say the same things as Andrea Telati, but he spoke about history. I will speak about art and artifacts in art. Well, the title is a little bit provocative. Yes, because it has to be. The notion of borders or frontiers is different for a historian and different for an art historian or an archaeologist because of those things. And I believe, as Andrea had said, I believe really Pierre Toubert said it in a good way, that frontiers are as living membranes. They exist and they don't exist. We just have to understand what, why, and how. And, you know, I can make a joke. In the Middle Ages, a smuggler takes a Madonna on canvas, beautiful one, let's say very old, 500 years old, and he smuggles it through the borders. From his bishop, he will be rewarded because he brought the Madonna. So he will not be penalized. And where is that border? Nowhere. But who cares? The problems are really much more difficult to understand, and I will try to put them easily for all of us. So we have here some borders as we see them today, from the Roman Empire, from the Eastern Roman Empire, not Byzantium in the 6th century, from the Carolingian reign and then the empire and so on. So what happens there? What happens there? Those borders, okay, they exist physically, but what do they do to art, to artifacts that travel, to artists that move, to ideas that go around, not with internet, but they go around. The forms and the functions. The church is the barrier of the functions, which is much more important than anything else. So what happens within or above the borders? Let's see. And the examples I'll show you are mostly from the Adriatic because, as you know, the eastern side of the Adriatic is really a crossroads between east and west, north and south. A so beautiful country that every single power wanted to have, every single one. So, you know, we were in permanent war all the time through history, but who cares? Look, let's take some examples. Let's say the time of Justinian, the 6th century. So we have the Eastern Roman Empire expanding, okay? And what does Justinian want? He wants to show off. He wants to show the mark of the empire. So, every single church in Spain, in Croatia, in Alexandria, in Tunisia, in Rome, they're all the same. Why? Because they are reflecting the power of the empire. It is political art, everywhere the same. And the artists move from Constantinople to everywhere else. The artists. The mosaics move. The marble moves. So, the art and the transfers are really in the slaves of the politics. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Well, you can see Poreču, the Poreč Cathedral, the Eufrasiana, for example. Okay, so it's a stately art. Whatever you want to see, it's always the same. Even in the province. Look, this is a church that I excavated on the island of Rab. In the bishop's residence, you know, where he went for weekends, in Bagnol. Bagnol e i bagni. Naturalmente, bagni romani, e lui si faceva una he made himself a church there. This church is longer than the cathedral in the town, which is 3 kilometers away. Longer, bigger. And the furniture is Proconnesos marble. Hey, Where are the borders here? Nowhere, of course. Okay, let's move to another period, huh? Let's go to the Carolingians. This example is le monastère de Saint-Pierre aux Nonnains à Metz. Okay? So, a late antique, no, an antique profane building, a late antique church, an early medieval adaptation. And the famous chancel screen, the famous one in the world. They have written so many wrong things about it. Today we know, look, there are 3 masters. This is a compilation that never existed. 3 different masters have worked there. One good local, one very bad local, who managed to do some reparations, and one from northern Italy, from Friuli. So, was he, taking his horse or his carriage and traveling 2 months to Metz? No, of course. Someone took him, and we know who took him. Chrodegang, when he went with Pope Stephen the 5th or 6th, I don't remember, when he went to come to Pépin le Bref, okay, in France. So, what is it? This is the transfer, the mobility of artists, but it's also and always a political decision. That's important, a political decision. Okay, now let's see another problem. I will just bring you problems, then we can discuss it. Living on or leaving the borders. It's not the same thing. I took the Marca Hispanica and Croatia at the same period of the Carolingians, the same moment. Look what happens. San Salvador de Valdedios with the Westwerk. Import from the centers of Carolingian Empire, of course. Import. So it is a transfer of form, but mostly of function. This is what? A political action. Nothing else. In Croatia, the same thing. Churches with the Westwerk. Transfer of forms, functions, as a political statement. Just can see a few of those images to be acquainted with the monuments that you mostly don't know. On the left side is of course, the German one, the only one preserved in the world. Yeah? Okay, and of course the functions with mobiliary in the graves or in the tombs, in the sarcophagi. Okay, so that's the starting point with which deals art history and similar sciences over 150 years ago. Centers and peripheries, transfers, like, come on. Now, something totally different. I want to show you and provoke on something else. Okay. We are at the end of the 8th century. Città Nova, Civitas Nova, Novi Grad in Istria. The cathedral, the Carolingians have occupied Istria, and what? Bishop Mauritius makes a crypt, okay? And this crypt is, as you can see in comparison, absolutely identical but smaller than Aquileia. This is what we call imitatio. But this is a political decision of Bishop Mauritius, who went to his chief, to his boss, the Patriarch of Aquileia, have seen his cathedral and done the same at home. Nothing else. He did the same for his baptistry. This time, what he did, he bought a baptistry in Cividale, which is his own political center. This is also a political decision. Anyway. So that is a decision of the commissioner, nothing else. No, no influences from Cividale or from Aquileia to Istria, no. No, they didn't go travel those influences by train or by plane or by boat. No. This is the decision of the commissioner. The same thing happens in the cathedral with the furniture. The Pope, Hadrian, has decided, together with Charlemagne, to give money and furniture to Bishop Mauritius. So this work is from a Roman workshop from those same years. And the same thing happened not only in Istria, but in Dalmatia. Every single cathedral in Dalmatia, in the years around the Carolingian occupation of Istria in 788, and the Council of Nicaea in 787, in which a few of those bishops were called in, to bribe them, the reaction of the Pope, he sent masters to every single cathedral that was redone with new liturgical furniture. We are in the 8th and 9th decenny of the 8th century. Every single cathedral in Croatia, we can count them, from Novigrad to Kotor, through Osor, Rab, Zadar, and Split. What and why? This is again a political decision of the Pope, who wanted to take back all the Croatian bishoprics, well, from the Croatian territory. There were no Croats there at the moment in those towns. From the Croatian territory to take them back to the Roman Church. Because they were lost for a century and a half. They didn't belong to anyone. There was sedes vacantiae all the time and everywhere. Some other examples, the same thing. So you have the Split Cathedral and the Krk Cathedral again, and so on. Oop. And where do those masters come from? Rome and Ravenna. That's already published, that's analyzed, so you have to believe me, okay? We jump a few centuries. Let's go to the 11th. Okay, this is Pomposa. New style, new time, something totally new, change of liturgy, because of what? Because first the Benedictines in Cluny, and then Hildebrand came to be the master in Rome, to become afterwards the Pope Gregory VII. But, the Camaldolis in Pomposa and Ravenna and so on started first. The change is evident in art. It's the reflection on the facades of something what was in the interior of the church before. Okay, and the friend of Abbot Romuald, Gaudentius from Osor, came to Pomposa. Okay, this was done in 1026 by Master Mazzullo, okay, good. And Gaudentius, the abbot of Osor, so on the other side of the Adriatic, went to Pomposa to his friend, because he was also a Camaldolian priest. And he made the same thing. We just didn't know it till I reconstructed the facade of the church. This is the same thing, and I found the inscription, Mengausus fecit. So what did he do? He went to Pomposa, have seen the new, brand new facade of the church. He said, oh, dear, my God, I want to have the same thing. I must have it. So he asked Romuald, okay, whom can I have from your masters? And he took Mengausus and did the same thing in the same years. What is it? Transfer? Mobility? No. It is the decision of the commissioner, of the donor, and that is a political decision, nothing else. So there is no influences, no centers and peripheries. Pomposa is not a center. In this moment, Pomposa and Osor are the center of European art in the first third of the 11th century. But we never can call them centers. Come on, this is not Rome, this is not Paris, this is not London. So. But you understand what I say. Another concept, really transfer of forms and functions. Let's say in the Carolingian, I return to the Carolingian period, doesn't matter. Die Dreiapsidensaalkirche. Huh? From where? From the center, from the Carolingian Empire. Where from? Lombardia occupied. They give the same type of church immediately. Istria occupied, they give the same type of church. But not only the typology, but the function. Because those churches are the representation of power. Those typology of churches is a representation of power. So this is the decision, again the political decision. The examples. The same thing with the churches with T transept. The same thing happens. They transfer on the same way, the same routes through the Alps because they can't go anywhere else. Huh? So you have the path through Lombardy and then to Croatia. This same time. Or the third one, the biapsidal churches. Something that originates in Reichenau. That is something that didn't exist before. St. Peter and Paul in Reichenau is the first one. Look, the type, it just goes, and comes here into Croatia. And recently I have found the first one who shows the function. That's not edited yet, that's not published. You see the 3 altars. That's something that we didn't understand what are the church with 2 apses mean. Now we do. Because in no one, there are more than 30 in the whole Europe, no one knows what is the function of those churches. Now we know. It's just a small reduction of the normal 3-apsidal church. So what is it? Again, the decision of the commissioner, nothing else. Because otherwise, you know, the influences that go around like circles when you throw a stone in the water, so circles of influences. Hey, come on. They jump over 100 miles, over 500 kilometers. So there is no influence like that. That is a decision of the commissioner, again. So, in conclusion, I will not read, you can read alone what is written here, but what I have to say in art and artistic transfers, in any case, and in any time, in any modes, borders mean absolutely nothing. Thank you very much.